Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Shady Ho Show, where you take the three baddest bitches, you put them into a fucking cauldron, and voila di da di da, you get me, because all the other bitches don't matter. I'm just kidding, not really. Okay, so my name is not Valk, and well, that's the only one you should really care about. But if you insist on knowing the rest, I guess you can have these other two.
Hi, my name.
Hello.
I'm like, we didn't decide. It's been a year. We didn't decide who was gonna go.
We didn't know who was next.
I guess we just improvised. But anyway, my name is Tuaturho. I am on Instagram, and I am on YouTube now. You guys inspired me to be on YouTube.
Yes.
So, my handle on YouTube is Amanda Loves to Write YT, because I couldn't think of a better name. But yeah,
because she's white.
It's because she's white.
Exactly.
But it's original. And I
mean,
love it.
I'm like the whitest person. I mean, I really,
okay.
I'm in college again, and I'm in humanities, and they're like, describe yourself in 3 different like subcultures, and literally, it took everything in me to not be like white, basic, and cringe, but I did it with undertone. Anyway, Grace, introduce yourself.
I wouldn't have did that.
Hi, it's Grace, or Stage Trinity. Since I was here a year ago, I don't know if we told everybody that I wrote a book. I did that. It's spooky for spooky season.
Yeah, and I didn't.
This episode is spooky season themed because we only came back because it's spooky season.
I don't know. We might.
Yeah, the same year that Grace's mom died, she wrote a book. So
I did.
She's a total
Virgo.
And that's
coping with my trauma by writing a ghost story. You can buy it on Amazon. I'll give you all that information at the end of this episode because it'll be related then.
Yeah, see, we're keeping everything spooky, talking about deaths in the family, spooky books. So yeah, it's going to be a very interesting Shady Host show. So I'm sure we kind of touch base a bit on trying to keep the show. We want to keep the show alive, obviously, because we love the show. I mean, we talk to each other, when we don't record, so we might as well fucking record it. It's just our schedules, mainly mine, has just kind of been conflicting. But yeah, I think
it's TJ.
Yeah, it's all my fault.
Wow, we're gonna throw TJ under the bus.
This bitch always
it is
under the bus. But I mean, we married, so she's used to it. Anyway, so let's go.
Oh, we made a Discord. You guys maybe one day can join us in the Discord called Dick Lickers Anonymous, where we watch scary movies.
Where we watch scary movies and we comment on them.
But you have to pay to join.
Well, you can't join unless I invite you. So none of y'all are special enough yet. But maybe one day.
Patreon set up for $5.
You can join Dick Lickers Anonymous and talk with us when we watch scary movies.
No, for $25. Make it for $25. Make it the price of a movie ticket.
That's not even how much you pay for one ticket. You're like that meme, like, how much does a banana cost? $10? Like,
I don't know. How much is a movie ticket? Do you know it's been so long since I've been to the movies? How much does a ticket cost now?
$12.
I rented a whole theater for $100, so
I don't know. It just seems like every time I go to the movie theaters, it's almost like $150. So I'm just like, hello?
How much popcorn you guys eating? Y'all ordering like the pizza and shit?
Yeah, y'all going to AMC?
A certain someone orders like fucking nachos and pizzas, and I'd be looking at him like, damn, bitch, this ain't Applebee's. I'm just sitting there with a little tub of popcorn.
I know, damn.
He doesn't know, because when
he just like
TJ and I would go to the movies, we would go to Dollar Tree and just stuff my purse, which is what you're supposed to do.
That's what a sane person does.
And then we would put candy in her, like where her breasts are, and that would just kind of like fill her out a little bit more. And they'd be like, "Damn, bitch," and she'd be like, "Yeah, bitch, I can do a push-up."
Right? Like,
I mean, there's always ways.
Do.
There's always ways to sneak candies into theaters, boys. Or you may just write a book about that.
Right.
Caveat about candy in your breast: don't put chocolate there because your titties will melt it.
Yes, and then you'll have stocky tits.
So,
That's not what this episode's about. Well, I'll let TJ go back. I'm sorry.
yeah, no, that's not what this episode's about. But just know if y'all want an episode on the tips and tricks of sneaking candy, like, or not even necessarily candy, but hamburgers, tacos, enchiladas, Mexican food, anything like that, into your friendly neighborhood theater, just let us know. Join the podcast. Give us a comment. Give us a like, and we might consider giving you the lowdown or the lowdown. We might just consider letting you know. But anyway, that's not what this episode is about, though. So, close your eyes with me. Are you closing them? Motherfucker, you better close them. Okay, here we go. So today we're going to be starting off our spooky podcast with, well, spooky shit. So we're going to be talking about spooky books, spooky movies, spooky everything. That word's losing value to me right now. So I'm going to start off by letting you know that last year, or when we started doing the Shady Ho Show, I had told everybody my fascination with Chucky and how I had watched it religiously. That was like, thebomb.com. And one of our watchers and listeners made the comment that we should kind of expand on it. And so I'm just going to go briefly into why I love Chucky. First off, like when I was a child, I don't know why I had a fascination with
Pause,
watching it.
TJ. Explain what Chucky is about in case somebody hasn't seen it. Then tell them why you love it.
Bitch, I was about to. You didn't give me a chance.
You said when you were a child. I didn't trust you to actually describe it.
Y'all hear
Oh
this
my
bitch?
god,
Y'all
we
hear
have
this bitch? She just
we have a
interrupts me.
micromanager in the studio.
I know.
Look,
like
I have a diagnosis now.
Oh my god.
Just so everybody knows, the story about Chucky is basically a doll gets possessed. A good guy doll gets possessed by the spirit of a serial killer. And so the doll comes to life and he starts killing people. And his goal in the movie, the doll, who is actually the killer, has a magic amulet and he's trying to find this boy. Well, this boy picks up the doll and he's like, oh, fuck yes, a child. I can relive my life and kill people. So he's trying to transfer his soul from the doll into the human boy. There's your whole premise of the movie Chucky. And I don't know why, as a child, I really found this to be fascinating because it scared the shit out of me. Like, Chucky scared the absolute fucking shit out of me, okay? There's a lot of movies that scared me, but Chucky was, number one, holy fuck. But yet I still constantly watched it and had nightmares. But yeah, and as the years went on, the movies got progressively worse, and then the TV series on Sci-Fi is just like a fucking joke to me. But let me tell y'all, I am so fucking mad right now, okay? This new Chucky movie that came out a couple of years ago, I wanted to write the movie company and be like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? Because they rebooted Chucky, okay? But these motherfuckers legit made Chucky an animatronic doll. And instead of, they literally took the supernatural out of the whole fucking movie. It was
I didn't watch the new one.
Yeah,
yes.
I haven't. Sorry, I'm gonna interject here. Grace, did you go through the Chucky house at Halloween Horror Nights?
No, unfortunately, we did not have time to get to the Chucky house when we went to Halloween Horror Nights this year.
That's fair. I bitched out so everybody that listens probably already knows, but I bitched out after the first house early at night at exactly 6:30 and wandered around the park aimlessly until Grace and her husband were ready to leave.
At midnight.
At midnight. I think we spent 2 hours in the car watching TikTok, me and my husband. Because I was so fucking done. No, that's hyperbole. We didn't spend 2 hours in the car because they have their
they were having sex in the parking lot.
No, we're not. Anyway,
Amanda was too traumatized for that.
I was fucking traumatized. I'm a sensitive little baby, and I didn't realize I didn't realize that being at the front of the fucking scare line meant that they were going to fucking assault me. Basically. I was assaulted. that is a mental scar that will never go away. So, so anyway, but okay, so good to know.
So, as many of you may or may not know, after looking into it, thanks to Couture, I was looking on Facebook and was scrolling through and saw this gruesome image of something, and it was like world's most terrifying thing. And apparently, it was McCamey Manor. Did I say that right?
Yep,
McCamey.
it's McCamey with an M.
So basically, it's like you know how when you go to Halloween Horror Nights, they're all told, all the little actors are like, "Don't you dare fucking touch these people, or we'll get sued." Well, like you go into this man's backyard, he's like, "I don't care what y'all do, fucking molest them if you want to." They've already signed the waiver. So yeah, I'm gonna let Amanda go ahead and share just a little bit of information about this to you guys in case y'all ever want to try and do this. So yeah, go ahead.
So, allegedly, according to certain YouTubers that I have seen, and have actually gone through with the McCamey Manor, because um, the thing about McCamey Manor is that, according to what I have seen over the years, is that you have to get psychologically evaluated before you go in. So they have to make sure that you're like mentally stable, which that would be the process that knocked me out of the running away. They would be like, bitch, you actually need to go to a mental hospital. This is the last thing you need. But so they go through these like really weird, and then you also do like medical like workups and stuff, like a physical. And so according to this YouTuber, oh god, I need to find his name to reference him, but I will. But apparently McCamey Manor is like a huge fraud. Like he says, he has all these rats back there and like just this whole fucking uh like a labyrinth of shit. But it's really not true. He kind of just, according to the person who went through with it, it was like they put a blindfold on him and literally just like beat him with a bat and shit. It's like fucking crazy. Like I'm gonna go on YouTube. You guys talk while I look this up. If I had known we were gonna go down this rabbit hole, I would have done my research beforehand, but definitely did not do that part.
Going back to Chucky, because I always forget, because everybody's like, Chucky, that is not the actual name of the movie, and I always forget that. So, yeah. What's it called, TJ?
Oh God.
It's child's
See? It's Child's
I
I'm
Play.
have to
sorry.
Child's
I
Play.
just
Yeah,
knew
yeah,
that
Child's Play. Because that
because
was the name of the first one. That's the name of the first one.
Yeah, because
Child's
I always
Play.
forget, because yeah, when you're talking about like Chucky, and I'm like, oh, there's actually a name to that movie, and it's not Chucky, and I always forget that. And I was looking,
No, Child's
obviously
Play.
we're going through talking about more like Halloween spooky movies as we go on with this episode, and I was just thinking of that. And I think TJ still wanted to rant about the Chucky show, so
Well, okay. So the Chucky show, I haven't even really watched because I don't have sci-fi, but it looks kind of dumb. I ain't gonna lie. If y'all are fans of it, I'm so sorry. I don't mean to shit on your favorite show.
I'm
But
so sorry.
going back to the remake of the Child's Play movie, directors, if y'all are listening to me, which I hope you are, y'all should be ashamed of yourself for modernizing it for all these fucking Gen Zers out here. Y'all took the whole fucking supernatural aspect out of it. Y'all made it where fucking Chucky had a damn fucking malfunction in his mothership board, and then you just decided to go ahead and try and kill people. Y'all went the Megan route, and I don't appreciate that. Just like
Megan
all
is
the ones
amazing, though. Please don't put Megan with that.
well, I'm
Right,
just saying
because
though. But
Megan
that's the thing
wasn't
though. That's the
good.
thing.
Like she was
That's the thing though. They take the supernatural out of it and made it kind of like where it could just happen to anybody. Oh, the
that's
non-mechanical
true.
doll
Like
trying to kill me.
don't take the original like actual components. When you I feel like
Like that was
when
the
you
main fucking point of the movie
right.
was the supernatural aspect, and they just took it out like whoops.
They said
he
whoopsie
just had a
poopsie.
malfunction. And you know that was the thing too. Like they did the same fucking thing with Jumanji. Jumanji was like a magical board game, and they were like, "We're gonna make it into a fucking 3D world where they can go in and they can set into a computer." And it's like, can you fucking not, please? Like,
I know
please.
nobody cares, but please stop remaking 90s and 80s movies. You could do other things, I promise. There's more stories out
Or
there.
if you do it, at least stick to the damn concept.
God,
Anyway,
there are
I
so
don't
many
know.
ideas out there, especially now. Like there are so many fucking ideas. Like couldn't they just fucking do something
and
new?
also
Like what?
Also, to the
Okay,
ones who made
actually,
The
one
Craft,
remake. Well, it's not even a remake. They're making a Broadway musical of it, which is what you should always do. Don't make a remake. Make a Broadway
Mean
musical.
Girls.
Well, no, Death Becomes Her. You guys seen Death
Oh,
Becomes Her with Meryl Streep?
yes.
I
Oh my
love
god,
that
are they
movie.
making that into a Broadway musical?
Yeah.
Yes, and I'm kind of excited about it because Death Becomes Her. Let me just recap that since TJ got to talk about his Child's Play. Death Becomes Her, if you have not watched it, is a wonderful, dark, kind of campy comedy horror movie with, I believe it's Meryl Streep and is it Goldie Hawn? I think.
It's Goldie
Either
Hawn.
way,
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
Goldie
I was
Hawn.
like, I think it's Goldie Hawn.
Meryl Streep
It's
ate that role.
hysterical. It is kind of supernaturally. It's got amazing quotes in it. It has got some great practical effects for the time. The hole in the stomach gag is like one of my all-time favorite jokes. I can see right through you. It's great.
It is
Watch it
such
though
a
if you guys. It is. I think it's a great campy, dark comedy practical effects. I think in horror movies, practical effects are always the way to go because CGI just dates itself so easily. Um, so just there's something to nibble on.
ain't it? I agree. I agree. I think puppetry and practical effects will always win. Like I mean, and especially like
True.
um
And
CGI
that's what
does date
made these older
itself.
movies. That's what made all these old movies really kind of classic, is because they only used like a hint of like the CGI. It left a lot to the imagination.
Yeah, like going back
Absolutely.
against the original Child's Play, like that's practical effects. I think the new one is more CGI, isn't it? I'm not sure. TJ would have to tell me. I haven't seen it, but
I watched it, but I just kind of
I
pushed it out of
refuse
my
to watch.
memory.
I refuse to watch that piece of garbage. I'm sorry. Like I just so like I don't watch remakes anymore. Like the only remake I have ever enjoyed in my entire life has been Roger and Hammerstein's Cinderella. That shit is fantastic. Whitney Houston. Oh my god, rest in peace. I love
Yeah,
you, Whitney.
But the thing with
Anyway,
that one,
yeah,
which I agree with that but also it was a musical, like it was a musical made for TV, but I feel like things like musicals and like a classic story, like Cinderella's a classic story, and like on
yeah,
Broadway, the actors and actresses would change. They're not changing the songs, they're not changing the heart of what the show is. So I'm fine with that. Like if you want to like remake things like musicals or things where you're like keeping the heart of the story,
yes,
totally fine with that. Like things with like zombie movies and things like that because I'm like you just want to keep the heart of that certain like the Addams Family, some of those
yeah,
remakes because you're keeping like the way it feels. I'm not a giant fan of the weird animated one they did because the animation in it I know is trying to mimic the 2D comic style but it does not translate well to 3D, so let's back off of that.
well,
it really doesn't.
yeah,
You're
I
absolutely
I agree.
correct because it doesn't like it just it looks cheap. It looks like literally like and it kind of was like a straight to what our version of straight to VHS or DVD release. Like it never even
Yes.
it gives that same value and that those I don't know. It just gives
When
the same vibe.
Candyman, that one got remade. I know. I haven't seen it, but I've heard that the Jordan Peele remake of Candyman's really good. I don't know if either of you have watched it, but the original
They
I've seen the
start
Candyman's pretty
trailer.
interesting.
scarred me for life. I hated that movie because that movie literally
The
so in
bees.
horror movie it crossed a line with me because I'm like, first of all, you do not play with children. I feel like you do not play with people's kids. You do not I do not play about the babies, okay? And they hurt somebody like they hurt children in that movie. Like, okay, trigger warning, they do hurt children. And I was like, oh my god, this is and like explicitly like that scene in the bathroom that was horrible. I'm like, bitches, watch this
Mm.
for entertainment. I had to cut it off and
TJ,
read this
what do you
synopsis on
watch for
Wiki.
entertainment?
Oh Jesus.
Um,
What's TJ's sleeping movie?
What
my
is
sleeping
TJ's
movie is
night night
Terrifier
movie?
2. I like to watch slashers and gore films as I try and sleep. It really just kind of calms the mind.
But which one, TJ?
Yeah, well,
I just said,
specify,
bitch, you didn't
please.
listen. Terrifier 2.
Okay. Yeah, it was not loud enough for me, so you may need to get right up
Mm.
on that mic and lick it.
Grace said, "Say it with your chest, bitch." Oh my god.
Oh, and another thing also we need to clarify is The Craft 2.
Ugh,
Y'all directors, y'all should be ashamed of yourself because it was
you
awful.
should be
How
ashamed.
dare you? How dare you recreate The Craft and only bring back one of the most iconic characters for a fucking 5 second scene? Y'all should be ashamed of yourself. No. If I could turn back time, hashtag share, I would make sure this movie never got made.
If I could
All right, so
turn
Amanda,
back
what's your
time.
spooky movie?
What's my
All right.
spooky
Well,
movie?
yeah, let's go. Go,
Oh.
go.
Yes.
I'd have to say, oh my god. Um, this is a tough one because I love supernatural movies. So, I'd have to say mine. Honestly, I don't know if this counts, but it's Rose Red from Stephen King. I know it's like a mini series,
Yeah, that would be
but
spooky.
Hmm.
that
And I
is
finally
one
watched it.
that is like one of my favorite all time like horror anything. Like paranormal fucking anything is like my favorite. But honestly, another one, my other favorite movie of all time is The Haunting that stars Liam Neeson, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Owen Wilson. It was
Yeah.
like 1999. It was so like not only was it visually fascinating, but the story behind it as well. Like it's the classic they go it's honestly almost the same premise as Rose Red because a paranormal professor brings three subjects to a mansion, and then he's studying fear. He's not studying paranormal, essentially, like explicitly. But I just thought it was really cool. I really like that movie. I don't know if you guys have you seen it.
I don't. I
Yeah,
don't.
I watched
I
it.
don't
It's
think
on
I have.
Hulu. It's on Hulu. I remember watching it and I made a joke to you guys saying that, Stephen King must really hate children because it seems like every movie or every book that he writes, he's always giving at least one kid some kind of mental disorder and
Yeah,
they're always trying to kill somebody.
I mean,
Or
Well,
something's trying to kill them.
segue because I just take over everything, and I'm having like train of thought on movies.
segue.
So this is not a us shitting on Halloween movies, but so what I want to do, because I have just like a string of movies I've thought up as we're talking, can I name some Halloween movies and you guys tell me your opinions on them and whether you think they hold up?
Sounds great to me.
Or
Okay, so iconic Halloween movie that I think of that it's a much older one, but Night of the Living Dead, 1968. I think y'all seen that one, black and white.
yeah.
Coming to get
I
you, Barbara.
That was my first one ever. Like that was my first horror movie ever because my dad didn't really like horror movies, but he liked that one. And I remember watching that as an impressionable child. And I remember asking my dad, would that ever happen to me? And if I turned into a zombie, would he just let me go?
And he was like, yeah.
um
Rest in peace.
I can't remember his answer, but I guess I mentally blocked it out because it probably wasn't good. But
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh.
No, I remember the end of that movie, and I'm gonna give a spoiler warning that there shouldn't be. This movie is like again 1968 is the end of that movie. I remember it's one of the few movies that I was viscerally mad at because that man survived all of that just to wave at the window and get shot. You guys remember the ending of that movie? I was so mad.
Yeah.
that was fucked up. That was, I mean, it was fucked up.
Like I guess what's a twist, but it was I was so mad at that movie, but I think it is definitely a good like starter for the zombie trend. That was like one of the old original ones. But speaking of also ones with iconic scenes, what about Psycho?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
I hate Psycho.
How'd you feel about that? That when you first saw it, do you remember how you felt with the twist?
I felt like this was it was not my horror movie. Like, some horror movies are like, people are like, this is the scariest shit ever. I was just like, this is some incel that wants to fuck his mom. And I hate it. His dead mother.
Girl,
He just wants he wants
stop.
people to know he's fucking his dead mom. Like, that's how I felt. I was just like, this is boring. This is like fucking, you could walk out the Quaco Road. If you live in the 912, you know exactly what I'm talking about, and absolutely. So, it was not my horror movie, but I understand if it is your horror movie. But I also feel like you should seek professional help if it is.
Segue, movies about needing professional help. The Shining. How do we feel about The Shining, iconic movie?
It was slow. I got bored.
TJ gets bored with everything. I'm just kidding.
I got bored with
I
it
think
if it's
TJ
slow.
really does like
on.
Terrifier because he likes how fast paced the kills come. Like, I mean, everybody's getting ripped apart and it's like fucking bloodbath.
But
I definitely like. I definitely
Grace,
think
we talked about this before. What?
Where'd we go?
Okay, hold on. I was saying, Amanda, hold your thought. I was saying, this isn't like, this isn't something that we haven't talked about. Like, Stephen King draws out every fucking scene in his book.
He
like,
does.
Describing what his own fucking gas smells like. Like, he draws out everything. So, needless to say, of course, all his movies will be drawn.
I mean, yes. I mean, The Shining, I think, is it's iconic for his books. I think the movie, I think, is kind of like, I don't want to say it's like a culty classic, but it's definitely got some quotable scenes in it. And then because segue, there's a child in that movie. Speaking of evil children, what about The Omen? And it also had a remake.
I've never watched it.
You've never watched The Omen? Oh,
but I watched it, and I love the remake of it.
Okay, tell us about it. It's
about a clown.
No shit.
It's really a clown.
It's about a clown.
He's like a shapeshifter that takes the form of a clown, because that's what people are scared of. He's Pennywise, a dancing clown.
Oh my god.
He's Pennywise. And
what the fuck was that?
You'll float too. There you go.
That's all TJ's got.
And you got all these like all these dairy kids, and they're just like, you'll float too. And then you got little, spoiler alert for anybody that hasn't read this big ass fucking book, where they had to break this bitch into fucking 2 parts. Georgie, where are you, Georgie? Oh my God, Bill! Oh, he's eating my hand. Oh, I'm in the sewer. Okay, that's basically the whole book. Next.
Oh, okay.
It's still good, though.
I've never. Sorry,
Go
I've
on,
never
Amanda, go.
actually. I've never watched it. I've never watched either one of them. I've never watched them all the way through.
Bitch, what the fuck? Okay, before Halloween ends, we're watching both of them.
I hate clowns.
You mean all 4 of them?
I hate clowns.
Well, we can watch the new
I
one.
hate clowns.
And y'all,
so
okay,
much.
once
Sorry,
again,
that's a disservice to Tim Curry.
She says she hates
he's
clowns,
a
but you guys,
brilliant
me and her have
actor.
a date tomorrow to watch Terrifier 2. Me and her have a date tomorrow to watch Terrifier 2. And I'm still trying to get Sage Trinity to agree to it, so please leave her hate mail and hate comments.
I know.
Sage, you never did confirm. Are you watching it with us tomorrow?
I may be not here.
Grace.
Are you gonna be fucking lame? Are you gonna be fucking lame and bitch out like I did?
Loser.
It's a movie, Grace. It's not gonna hurt you.
Speaking of
Grace,
bitched out things, going back to Halloween Horror Nights, you want to know what house I did go through? The Exorcist.
That shit, hell no. I don't see. That's white people shit, and I am a white people, but I was like, hell no. That is no, fuck that. Fuck no.
Yeah, man, it's like, I'm not going to the Exorcist house. But just like a story of the Exorcist house, if you're familiar with the Exorcist, great, iconic, like older movie. They made a remake. my husband and I are going up to get in here. I'm like, already jittery. There's this man in front of us that this whole time, and I don't know who you are, sir. I know you're not going to listen to this, but if you do, it's weird. Stop doing it. The whole time we were in line, he was recording the people on the roller coaster because we were under a roller coaster. And for the 30 minutes
What?
we were waiting to get into this house from this particular point, he was just recording that roller coaster, like, and we're like, bro, you good? So then we get into the haunted house, and this bitch starts touching things, and I'm like, why are you
Oh
touching things in
no.
this haunted house? Like, where it's that house started out like where you're like in this market area. It's dark, there's like scattered food, like it's creepy, there's like some dead animal thing, and he's like touching things, just having the time of his life. And I'm like, bruh, move. Don't let me get caught in here and something pop out on me. Stop touching things. This dude was like having the time of his life. I'm concerned for him. I hope he is okay.
I hope, the people that go to those things, like, for, like, I don't know, like, because I'm not trying to be a bitch here, but I'm also, like, the people, never mind, I'm gonna shut up. I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm gonna pray for him, though.
No, I'm just saying, like, yeah, from my point of view, like, yeah, I'm going to a haunted house. You go be respectful, don't touch things in it, don't be like chance. It's the same concept of you don't play with the Ouija board because some stuff might happen with the Ouija board. I respect the Ouija board, but we don't touch it. It's kind of like that.
Right. It's not a F. Also, all those people work so hard to make those haunted houses. I'm not gonna fuck up their
Right?
work. It's like touching an art installation. Like, seriously, like, the people that, like, I think they have one
Yeah.
crew of like 8 people that does all the set. Like, um,
Oh my god.
yeah, like, that's actually like a big deal. Like, the people that put it together, it's a lot of work. Like, it's a big fucking
Okay.
deal. So I'm like, I may not respect it in the sense that it's not for me, but I definitely like respect the
Mhm.
people that put the work into it and like actually make it
No,
happen.
I
So I'm
agree
not gonna,
too.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, and okay, so we've hit kind of our 30-minute mark, so we're about to segue, but I do want to just bring this up really quick before we do segue, before we run out of time. My all-time favorite supernatural spooky movie that's not Terrifier is the Conjuring series. I,
Oh
I
shit.
love
Okay.
them,
Speaking
especially
of Conjuring
Conjuring.
series, what? Because I forget, and I know it is, and I
Oh,
don't know if you know offhand. What's the real life story that's based off of? Because I cannot remember, and I know it has
uh,
one.
it's based. The Conjuring series is based off of Ed and Lorraine Warren. They are real people.
Well, yes,
You
Ed and Lorraine, but Ed and Lorraine also went and fucked with a lot of people. What specific house or family do you remember? Because I'm just trying to remember.
Hold on, let me look it up real quick.
Well, you talk about it, and I'll look it up. How about that? You tell us about the movie while I'm looking up.
Okay, yeah. So basically, the Conjuring series is based on Ed and Lorraine Warren. They are real people. Lorraine was like a psychic medium, so she could see ghosts and spirits, and he was kind of like an exorcist, demonologist. And so the first movie is broken into different movies where they kind of like go and investigate and try and help people, try and get rid of evil spirits and demons and ghosts and things like that. But the first one, it's like set in I think almost like the 60s, I think. And like the mom goes like batshit crazy because there's like an evil ghost in their house, and she's trying to kill her kids, trying to snap their necks and everything. And it's just oh my god, it's so good. Like the actors they had in it, the casting was so spot on. Oh my god, I love it. The last Conjuring movie they did was kind of like, so I'm really hoping they get back into it because like the first couple, whew, like the second Conjuring movie, Chef Kiss. Oh my god, I loved it. Loved it. And
Okay.
they intertwine it with Annabelle, so you have like the spin-offs like Conjuring, and then you have Annabelle, and then you have the God, I just watched it last night, the Nun series, because the Nun is part of the Conjuring world, but it's like they made its own movie too. I just watched the second one. Oh, it was so good. Ooh, I'm getting chills. Sorry.
Okay.
So
So
watch the Conjuring. It's on
okay.
HBO.
So the one, okay, so I know because I said I'm not familiar. I know that The Conjuring, kind of put a bunch of the Ed and I cannot say it, Lorraine Warren stuff together.
Right.
I know that the first one is it's the Perron family and Rhode Island is the one that one's based on. Is Annabelle
Yeah.
in that one too,
Mm,
or am I switching which is in which?
I think okay, so I think it is, but briefly. They don't really go into depth. Yeah, okay, so Annabelle is in it because towards the end of the movie, um the daughter walks in while her family's gone and sees the ghost holding Annabelle. So yes, it is partially in it. You kind of get a little bit of the backstory with Annabelle, but Annabelle has two movies out that kind of go into the lore of the Annabelle
Okay.
doll.
All right. Yeah, because I remember.
And in the second movie, or maybe it was I don't know, y'all. There's a lot, but I think it's the third movie, second or third movie. You kind of go, no, it's the second one. You go into the lore of the nun, which it also has its own separate two movies that go into the lore of that as well.
Got it. So, for if you're interested in like looking up supernatural stories, or TJ, if you're just interested in looking it up because I couldn't remember, it's like I said, the Perron family in Rhode Island with their children, talking about the ghost Bathsheba that haunted their house. So I know that there's
Yeah,
like a full story where they've talked about their experience, and I think one of the daughters wrote a book about it. Um, so like if you think it's interesting, you should check out like the details with the
yeah, because at the
oh,
beginning of these
and
movies,
the
it does
the
have a little
the
disclaimer saying that
Enfield haunting is the one that I was thinking of, where it has that like that iconic picture of the girl being supposedly thrown off the bed. I don't know if you've
yeah,
seen that one. I think that's part of it too, because I know more about the actual stories and how they're in the movies. I am iffy with Ed and Lorraine Warren. Like, have thoughts on them.
I didn't know much about them. I just love the Conjuring movies.
So the movies themselves, I think if you separate them and you're like, okay, these are fun, that's cool. But Ed and Lorraine Warren as people are shit people. Just if you don't know anything
Damn.
about them as actual people, a lot of what they did was con people um, to get money. So some of the things they did, they just straight up lied about it. Um, So guys, yeah, if you want to look up stuff on Ed and Lorraine, they're as real people, they're shitty. They may be better people in the movies for the sake of the story. Totally cool with that, but they were real people who were supposedly helping people with real problems and just using them to make money.
Wow, I did not know
Damn.
that.
That
Yeah.
sucks. Well, yeah, that really. That does suck because, like,
So
why would you? Yeah, whatever.
well, because you have people that are obviously going through something. It's confusing them. And you can make a business for yourself by offering to help. Ed Lorraine is a pedophile. So, yes, they're bad people. Ed Lorraine Warren, don't support them. Um, Ed did things with underage ladies. Yeah.
Oh my,
To
So,
quote
as
to
real
quote
people, you guys
Frank
suck.
in to quote Frank in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I just want to clarify, I do not diddle kids.
Oh,
hell, everybody,
and fun thing
we
about
are
Lorraine, speaking of Amanda, one movie they have not done with Ed and Lorraine Warren is Bigfoot, because Lorraine said that she could communicate with Bigfoot. So, I need to know what they talked about. That's the real mystery.
baking.
What?
He only
They talked about
eats
baking.
fucking
Oh,
beef jerky.
they did.
Okay, y'all, we need to segue because we still have another topic to go into.
Oh, that's
So
right.
everybody, we're going to be giving y'all a little bit of a flashback to our one episode called Friend Fiction. If you haven't already
Oh
seen
no.
it, why are you still here? So this is going to be our Once Upon a Time segment. Ladies, just so you know, kind of what you're getting into. I will start the story, and then I will stop, and then you will take over the story, and let's just see what kind of mind fuckery we get into. Okay, are you ready? Great, let's go. Once upon a time, there was a boy stuck in a hole.
You
Whoever
didn't
thought,
specify who's going next. I need to know who's next. So
whoever,
what order
Yeah,
are we
who's
going
next?
in? Because I'll
whoever
I'll
feels,
step all over people. You got to give me an order.
whoever feels spicy. But if I gotta give out names, Couture, go, and then Grace.
Okay, so you said
Once
I'm.
upon a time, there was a boy stuck in a hole. We're off to a great
He
start,
was
everybody.
he was stuck in a home or hole. Your mic is like.
TJ, let's not start a story about a boy getting stuck in a hole.
Why? I want to know how he got there.
You just were freaking out about.
Right
Oh
now,
wait.
they're gonna think you have boys on the brain.
Yeah, we're cutting this part out too. All right, everybody. So we are going to be going into, if you haven't seen our last one of our episodes for Friend Fiction,
I think
we're
it's
going to be
episode
doing
3.
episode 3. We're going to be doing a segment called Once Upon a Time, where all of us basically try and tell a story and create something awful. So I will start, and then Couture can go, and then Sage Trinity. So once upon a time, there was a man and his lovely wife that moved into an old rundown house. And when they got there, they noticed that there was rats everywhere, and then there was shit falling apart, and then all of a sudden, the woman thought she saw something.
The woman had
Couture!
actually the woman had actually spotted a rat king, which is a bunch of rats that get their tails tied together, and it was moving along. It was scuttering and puttering around the floor like a Roomba, like some twisted, demented Roomba. And then she was like, Chip and Johanna Gaines said nothing about this when they were on HGTV for flipping houses. Okay, Grace, it's your turn.
But the husband, whose name I don't know, he says, well, we've already paid for it, so we can just fix it up because they were both white people, and that's what white people do in these situations. So
They
the
live
wife
loving.
said, you're right. This is not a big deal. Let's go down to the basement and see if we can find something to clean up with.
And the two went down to the dark, scary basement in hopes of trying to find some rat killer to get rid of all these vermins. But little did they know, once they opened that door, there was a portal to hell. Portal to hell where evil shit had lived, and they were like, oh my god, is this a portal to hell? And the wife was like, I think so, Jeb. I think that's the portal to hell. We shouldn't go in there. And all of a sudden, the devil took his hand out and he grabbed him and he brought him into the portal to hell. Next.
So, because they were white people that flipped houses.
Y'all, excuse Amanda and her pregnant pauses. She's probably looking up fucking vacation homes right now. That's why she's paying attention.
Yeah, I was actually I was shopping on QVC's website for Christmas decorations,
See?
and they had a
You are
really
literally
cute.
taking all of the things out of it.
Okay. So because white people that like flipped houses, the husband's name was Radley. By the way, it's not Bradley, it's Radley, and the wife's name is Sarah Beth.
It's
So
Indra.
Radley and Sarah Beth's hell consisted of waiting eternally in line for a brunch place that they did not know the owner of, and it was 85 degrees out, and it had no shade whatsoever. And so they had to basically, to get out of hell, they had to go in the kitchen and wash dishes of this brunch place to get out of hell. But Radley was being a little bitch about it. Go, Grace, it's your turn.
And the reason was Radley was being a bitch is because this is an older white family and he doesn't think men should wash dishes. So instead, he gets put in retail hell. Well, instead of washing the dishes, he has to go wait the brunch tables to a bunch of already, drunk moms that are there for, ladies' day. So Radley Radley is out having to, deal with younger white ladies that are making jokes that he doesn't understand and is making him upset, whereas his wife is having to wash dishes. But while she is washing dishes, who should come in to check on his breast brunch restaurant but Lucifer himself?
And while these motherfuckers are dealing with Satan himself, my original characters that I started out with, Jeb, and the unknown woman that got sucked into the portal to hell with Satan's arms, they're dealing with their own problems because these bitches came out with their own characters out of nowhere. So we're going to go back to my bitches that were sucked into the portal. So, there's apparently two Satans because there's like a multiverse of Satans.
Excuse you, there is a footnote. I said Lucifer, you said Satan, so I'm using Lucifer.
Okay, fine.
So is this just an ambitious crossover between Jeb and Unnamed Lady and Sarah Beth and Radley and Satan?
It might be. Let TJ go, and when we get to our parts, we'll make it great. Just like America.
Satan pulls them in, and he's like, I have a deal for y'all. And he's like, damn, are we in Alabama? And he's like, partly. I'm going to send y'all to a place where it's going to burn forever. And they're like, oh my God, no, we can't have this. What do we do? So he was like, so y'all are pretending to be a demonologist and a psychic medium, and y'all are tricking people. So I'm going to send you to the nastiest fucking place in the world. And so Satan does his little fiery magic, and he sends them to Georgia.
Oh, God.
And in Georgia, that is where he meets Joanna, whoever the fuck these other hoes are.
Sarah,
Beth, and Radley.
And Radley. And they're like, oh my God, is that Sarah Beth and Radley from church? And they're like, is that Lucifer? And they're like, what are you doing? What did y'all get here? And they're like, it's some shit, man. We went through a swirling portal to hell, and then Satan brought us here because apparently he thought this was the biggest place in hell because it's always so fucking hot here. Even our ACs can't keep up. Next.
Okay, so while the quartet is talking about why they hate hell so much, i.e. Georgia, the supervisor, which is the supervisor of the restaurant, is Gordon Ramsay, and he comes in the back in the dish pit and it's like, why are you sitting around and talking? All these dishes need to be washed. And then heavy metal music only plays, and Sarah Beth only likes gentle Greta Van Fleet playing while she washes dishes. I don't know. Grace, it's your turn.
So Lucifer, who has watched all this unfold and has seen his underling that goes by Satan, just, as his stunt double, has brought some more people into Georgia. And he's like, wait a second. Are these people from Alabama? Because I did not bring my fiddle down here for this, and I am not ready. If we're going to have this Georgia Golden Southern fiddling contest, I need to be able to have a fulfilling brunch. So he goes out to where Radley is hanging out with Jeff and some other lady. And he's like, okay, first off, I can only do fiddle with one person after I've eaten brunch. Radley, you're a waiter, and you're not even worth it to play and get out of hell because you honestly waited in this brunch line. This is your own choice. Now, as for the other two of you, I have to kill one of you in a way where you can't leave hell. The other one can fight me with the fiddle, but you two have to fight to the real hell death to decide who gets to stay here.
Okay.
And then, while they were arguing, the devil appeared. He said the devil went down to Georgia, and he said, I'm going to end all you motherfuckers because all of y'all are disappointing me, and I want y'all back in hell. So he snapped his finger. The whole apocalypse came along, just like the dinosaurs who starved extinction, and they all died. The end. Yay!
Amazing.
This is a lot
Truly
harder
amazing.
when we don't have characters to play.
I know, next time we'll actually set it up in the universe. But we're going to go ahead and just touch base on this really quick because our time is drawing near. So
Pause. I know you're saying really quick, but we've wasted like 20 minutes of cutting things out, so you still have time.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, flip it in reverse, Seth. So, the whole world died. The end. Okay, so we need to go ahead and touch base on something that is going to be coming up really soon, and I'm very terrified. So I guess this kind of goes into the whole spooky bit of it, and that's going to be NaNoWriMo. If y'all don't know what it is, it's a whole month where people who are like us, who like to write, end up spending the whole entire month crying and wishing they hadn't did this. I'll let Grace go into it a little bit more because she went into this with me last year.
So, NaNoWriMo is National Novel Writing Month. We are not sponsored because they are a nonprofit. And anybody who wants to do this can do it. It is completely free. I wouldn't suggest doing it this year. By the time we upload this episode, it will probably be November 1st. But have at it if you did dong doodly. The gist of it is the writing. Typically, it's an original story. There is a caveat in the technical ruling that you can work on a story you've already started. But you have to pen 50,000 words within the month of November, which is roughly equivalent to like 17,000 words a day. And if you get the 50,000 words of your novel done by the end of November, then you are considered the NaNoWriMo winner. TJ and I did participate last year. That's where I wrote my book. So that's where that one was completed from. TJ wrote something that we don't know what it was, but he got there. He got the 50,000.
No, let me insert here.
He got there. He had 4 days to plan. Don't let him lie to you.
Explain this real quick. We're gonna explain why I wrote Slump then, because I asked this bitch if she wanted to do this like 2 months ago or 2 months in advance, and then a month in advance. And she's like, I don't know. And then I was like, well, I guess we ain't doing it. So I thought I ain't gonna do it this year. And then literally 4 days, not even 4 days, like maybe 3 days before, she's like, so we doing NaNoWriMo? And I thought, motherfucker.
See, and TJ's failing to mention that this whole entire month before was October, and my mother was dying, and I was kind of preoccupied. So you can just eat it.
Priorities, Grace. Priorities.
Priorities. My mom, I'm sorry. I know you're kind of like really sick and in a coma, but I'm gonna go plan my novel.
We had NaNoWriMo to do. We had NaNoWriMo to do, and I had to make up this plot.
You understand?
I only have 30 days. Can we just kind of pause?
I'm like, thanks, Mom. Bye. And she's like, took it literally and went, bye.
I am not laughing at this. I'm not laughing at her. I'm not laughing at her death. Just so everybody knows.
It's okay. I laugh at my own mom's death. Because it was a mom thing to do right before all the holidays. She was a bitch like that. I love my mom. Hi, Mommy.
So, Amanda, what's your thought on NaNoWriMo?
What's my thought on it?
Amanda's on QVC.
No, thought on Grace's mom dying or like NaNoWriMo, because there was a lot of like fucking topics there. I just want to clarify. Sorry.
No, what is your thought on NaNoWriMo?
NaNoWriMo? Is that what you said? I'm sorry. The connection's a little spotty.
Yes, he did.
Okay, he said NaNoWriMo. So my thoughts on NaNoWriMo, this is going to be my first year like actually participating in it. So I'm kind of scared because right now I am technically a full-time college student and my job is really demanding. And I think I have a good enough story and enough content to actually write 50,000 words. Now, I will be really proud of myself if I stick through it and actually write my entire story. I feel like if I do write my entire story, I will self-publish. I just don't know if it's going to be a complete work of garbage, though.
No, it ain't. She's gonna do great. She's gonna do great, and she has us to try and back her up. I hope she doesn't end up giving up, but I mean, it's not a requirement to finish it. A lot of people don't finish it, so you don't need to feel like you have to. I'm just very competitive with myself and others, so I try and do it. So
I know
that's my
right.
explanation towards it.
So,
go
ahead.
yeah, just so y'all know, me and Grace are like married, so I mean, like we visit one another like all the time. I force her to make me sandwiches, and like she forces me to do dishes. So anyway, y'all be like, oh, why you talking to her like that?
Okay.
We've been married since like 2015, so y'all can suck a duck. Anyway, she's my slave now.
Oh,
So moving on. Oh, wait, we don't have
Slay.
slaves anymore. She's my wife Slay. Anyway, so I'd like to go ahead and just take a minute to talk about our stories. If y'all want to kind of give like a brief description to let everybody know that they can, what we're doing in case they ever want to read it. You don't have to get spoilers or anything. Y'all can just kind of like give a little synopsis.
I'll let Couture go first.
Oh, y'all really gonna throw me under the bus? Okay. So
Bitch, I
basically,
gave you a whole list of story ideas.
I know you really did. You were so real for that one actually. So basically what my story premise is going to be it is a ghost story. I've always been obsessed with writing the perfect paranormal story. I felt like
Yeah,
other authors and other, directors and stuff like that didn't quite get it right, and I was like I always had imagined like in my head something different. So, this horror story, I've changed the premise a couple times. Um, it's more paranormal, maybe not necessarily horror, but it's going to be like really spooky. I think it's more it's not horror in the sense of like scares, but it's like a lot of generational trauma that manifests itself. So, that's what the premise of my book is. It's a young woman that literally thinks her life can be solved through a bunch of different ways, and um, you know, unfortunate things keep happening, and it's gonna work itself out. But that's kind of the premise right now.
okay, cool. So it's kind of like a spooky read then with ghosts.
Yeah, it's like a spooky read, but it's also like a look inward, like, damn, all these traumatizing things happen to me and they're lingering on in my life and they affect how I live my life kind of deal. And it's also affecting other people as well. So, yeah, it's really
I love
fun.
it. I love it. It's cozy. It sounds cozy. I believe in you.
It's cozy.
Like this. I believe in
It's
you.
cozy.
Grace, you want to go next?
Sure.
Oh,
So
and you better not forget to tell them that your story characters are based on us.
you said I better tell them because you
It's
just did. So
Well, reaffirm it.
okay. So the gist of how I got to this point is it was I'm not I get concepts and then I'm not too good at like figuring out kind of like where I want to go. So one of the things that I do usually when it comes to writing a story is I'll just look up general writing like 2-3 sentence prompts and then I'm like, okay, oh, this one sounds interesting, this is where I can go from here. So the prompt that I had found, it was like two friends, I think it's two friends get together. They start playing with witchy stuff, actually summon spirits. One of them is surrounded by ghosts that they can't see, and the other one is trying to help them. Was like gist of this prompt I found, and I thought that was pretty funny. And I sent it to TJ, and I was like, "Oh, look, it's me and you," because TJ does a lot of the witchy tarot thingies. He does his things. So I was like, "Wait, no, this could actually be a funny idea, like a
Yeah, some.
dark comedy, but also a fun thing." So the gist of it, because we decided we were going to base the main. Sorry, Amanda, we just kicked you out of this book. I'm just kidding. But
I mean,
it was
You can be the demon.
okay.
so the gist of it was we have two main characters, which are Ashlyn and Ethan, which are the main person. Where like it's gonna follow both of them. It's a third person view, so I'm not writing this one in first person like I normally do, but it's more it's not like I can't say the word. It's not like the omnipotent view. It's more focused view, third person for Ashlyn. So the story itself is kind of that general thing. Is they're in their small town. They're two friends. It's spooky time. They wander to this old abandoned, haunted mansion kind of thing that's a landmark icon thing to go mess with around Halloween. And they decide they're going to go in and do what everybody else does and, play around in the house when they find a Ouija board, which is, I was making reference to this earlier because I think I have always said that if you find a Ouija board, you just leave it alone, whether you believe it or not, because you just don't know. And obviously that it doesn't get left alone, and there is accidentally summoning a demon that was bound in this house. And when they find the demon, they also find another side character who is a ghost who is bound along with the demon named William, who helps them kind of come to terms with the fact you have released this horrible thing, because the demon that I'm working with is kind of like a plague demon. It brings famine. It like kind of sucks the life out of things.
Isn't he my lover?
No, the demon was not your lover.
What?
The demon kills things, so you probably don't want to fuck the demon. But I'll probably put that in there somewhere now where your character talks about fucking the demon, so that everybody can be like, don't do that.
I thought we had talked about, when we were talking about this, I thought we had discussed the part where I fall in love with like a demon or something.
No. There's a ghost, TJ, not the demon. We joked about TJ having a ghost boyfriend. There is a ghost character in here named Will. So the book follows the trio of them trying, because in this book they don't really know much about magic or what they have done. So they're trying to figure out how to, without giving away all the in-betweens, basically how to seal this demon back. There's also some under themes of, self-confidence, not being good enough. I have essentially ruined everything for everybody. So just some kind of, things like that, like some trauma metaphors and things like that. Get to this whole middle part, basically them trying to have to seal this demon away, whether or not they can do it, and then what their life becomes after they have done this and how they grapple with that. So that's kind of the gist of the book, without giving away all the little small details about who does what and who does who, TJ.
Yeah, she blames me for everything.
So what about your book?
Yeah.
That you've made 7 different books now.
Okay, well, Grace, because you insist on knowing what my story is, you can copy it.
Who helped you plan your story, bitch?
My story has come a long way. I started planning it in September because nanowrimo of last year literally scarred the shit out of me. It's like literally my nom story. Like every time I have like flashbacks. Anyway, it went from like being this steampunk story of a kid trying to run from a bounty hunter to now it's where I've taken it into like a witch and a witch hunter fall in love, and it's kind of I think it's a cute story. I'm not gonna give too much away because it's very detailed, but I've let Grace and Amanda kind of know the gist of it. But I think I've always been fascinated like with these forbidden loves. Like a vampire slayer can't be in love with a vampire, yet Buffy had sex with Spike, and like a witch hunter can't be in love with a witch. Well, in my book, yes, they can. So I think it's going to be cool. I'm living to try and outdo J.K. Rowling because while I love Harry Potter, I don't agree with her viewpoints, and I want to make a book that's just as magical as hers. And be that person that people can look up to that's not going to sit there and go, I hate these kind of people. So, yes, that's my goals, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, and TJ's book, if he does publish it and you decide to read it, is I can never say it without saying it backwards because my mouth doesn't work. LGBTQ plus. It's queer friendly. There's queer characters.
Yes, the 2 main characters in the book are gay, and they're lovers. Spoiler alert. Not spoiler alert, I guess. But yes, because I always just no offense, like straight people books, but I really I think I always enjoy having that out there. Like I always enjoyed those books, like Simon versus the Homo sapien. I don't remember the name of it, but it's a cute book. So yeah, I like the representation there. I really do. And if it offends people, I'm so sorry. You don't have to read it, but if you want a nice little magical book, then maybe you'll consider picking it up.
So,
representation matters.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think that about wraps us up because TJ wants to go eat, and we don't want to keep you guys forever. But we may be back soon and talk about just books in general for Nano and things to read. So.
All right, everybody. Well, that's been our show. I hope you do enjoy. And until next time, we may keep you in anticipation, but we all love you. And I'm going to be signing off for the night.
All right. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.